Hello, friends, and welcome back. We are talking about the dreaded glucose test today. My glucose test was about 29 weeks, so that was at the very end of the second trimester, right at the beginning of our third trimester. Some people have it sooner, and some people are about when I did. When was your glucose test? Were you fully in that second trimester, or had you already moved on to your third? What have you heard about the glucose test? I feel like all I heard were horror stories. It's like the minute you say, "Oh, I'm pregnant," everyone goes, "Oh, let me tell you my horror story. It was awful." Thanks, but no thanks. So I'm here to tell you that the glucose test really was not that bad. I also heard a lot of negative stories about it, but it really, again, was not that bad. It wasn't something I'd like to go do again or that I'm going to sign up to do on the weekend, but it wasn't terrible. So here's what the glucose test is. So when you set up your appointment for your glucose test, I suggest setting it as early as you can because you have to fast for 8 to 14 hours beforehand. Drinking water is advised because you still want to be hydrated, but you're not supposed to eat anything. I was wary about that and I was like, nope, I am not doing anything to jeopardize this because I've heard too many stories about people failing the 1 hour test and having to come back for a 3 hour test, and I was not about to do that. So if you can set your appointment earlier in the day, that would be ideal because that way you go to bed, you sleep, and you fast. You wake up, you don't eat anything, but I suggest, again, drinking water, and then you go to your appointment, and then it's over with. So if possible, set your time early. All right. So 8 to 14 hours, you are fasting because when you get to your appointment, for me at least, we'll go with my experience. It might be different for you. You can tell me in the comments. I walked into the appointment, said, "Hello, checking in." And she said, "Great, you're here for your glucose test, right?" I said, "I am." She said, "All right, I'll be right back with your drink." And I said, "Okay." She came back with 2 options. She said, "Would you like fruit punch flavor or the lemon lime flavor?" I'm not really big on fruit punch. I know my friend doesn't like lemon lime, so we actually did the opposites. When she did hers, she had fruit punch. She said it wasn't too bad. I actually did the lemon lime. I thought, why not? Let's try it out. So the attendant gave me the lemon lime flavored drink, said, "You have 5 minutes to drink this whole thing. It has to be within 5 minutes. Tell me when you are done right away because your blood has to be drawn exactly 1 hour after you drink the drink." I said, "Okay, I can do that." So I walked over to my husband and he started a timer just in case to make sure that we got it within that 5-minute time frame. And it was just a super sugary, almost tasted syrupy lemon lime drink. It's kind of like drinking a lemon lime soda without the carbonation. And it was just really syrupy. So it wasn't terrible, but I was drinking it on an empty stomach. My appointment, unfortunately, was not until later, which is again why I suggest doing it earlier because I didn't go in until noon and I was hungry. So I drank the drink in less than 5 minutes, which was pretty good for me. And it really wasn't that bad. It was only, yay big. It was pretty small. And so I went up, told her, "Hey, I'm done. I drank my drink." She said, "Great, I'll mark it down and we'll get your blood drawn in an hour." I said, "Cool, thanks." And I went back and sat down and kind of started feeling a little nauseous. I think, again, because I hadn't eaten for so long. I went to bed the night before, fasted while I slept, and then wasn't able to eat anything until after this appointment. So it was already noon and I was starving. So I had water, but I did not drink any water after I drank the drink. I didn't ask about that, but I was so scared to mess it up. So I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to drink the drink and then wait. So we sat there, hung out for a little while, went in for my appointment, and normally they say get to your regularly scheduled appointment an hour early so that you can go drink the drink, get your blood drawn, and then go into your appointment. We got there just a little afterwards, so I actually went into my appointment, then at the end of the appointment, they did the blood draw because that's just how the time frame worked out. Every time I've gone into the doctor, though, you have to do your urine test. And so I did that before everything. Came in, checked in. She said, here's your drink. I said, great. I'll drink that after I use the bathroom. Did my urine test, came back, drank the drink, then went into my appointment. And now we're to that hour mark. So hour mark came and she comes in, the lab technician comes into the office and she says, okay, let's go ahead and draw the blood. I said, okay, let's do this. So I gave her my arm, my right arm, and I said, okay, here we go. I'll look away. And she had 3 vials to do. I was like, oh my goodness. This is my experience. This is not how everyone's goes. But she tried my right arm, said, I'm not quite getting it. I'm going to have to try again. I said, okay. She goes, let's try the other arm, but I won't bandage this one just in case we need to come back. I was like, oh, okay. So I switched and gave her my other arm, and luckily that one worked. So she did this one. I said, I'm starting to feel a little bit dizzy. And she said, okay, well, I'm on the 3rd vial. That's the last one, and this is the glucose one. And I said, really? Well, it seems like that one might be the most important one right now, so let's get that done. So she got that done, bandaged me up, and we were good to go. And I brought water in with me. I packed some snacks so that I could eat something right away afterward, and that helped. I did start to feel a little bit nauseous, again, probably from that super sugary drink on an empty stomach, but I suggest bringing snacks. I brought crackers because I thought, those aren't too sugary, and hopefully they can help sop up some of whatever's in my stomach so it's not so nauseating for me. So I suggest bringing some snacks and some water so you can drink it and eat it right after you get the blood draw. That seemed to help me. Hopefully that helps you. I don't know if you've already done it, what was your experience? So after that, the lab technician says, okay, you're done. You're good to go. And my husband and I, we walk out the door, and the other nurse goes, oh no, I haven't given you the Tdap shot, which is tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis. And you have to get that in towards the end of your 2nd trimester, beginning of your 3rd trimester, because baby cannot get the pertussis vaccination until later on. I think it's after 2 months. So by getting mom vaccinated, you're now protecting baby. So I said, okay, yep, we'll meet you back in the room. And we went back in. So I've got one arm wrapped up, I've got the other arm wrapped up, and now she comes in and gives me the shot, and I had a bandage there, and I said, all right, are we good to go? Or are we going to add anything else to the list? And she said, you're good to go. So we headed out and went and got some food immediately because I was ready for food. The rest of the night, I did pretty well. I started feeling tired, probably again from fasting and then having blood drawn and then getting a shot. I was a little bit dizzy at the beginning, but that passed pretty quickly. I was fine, especially since I brought snacks and started eating those and had something to drink, some water. And then the nausea kind of came and went for the rest of that night. So I don't know if that's your experience. That was mine. Again, it really wasn't that bad. It was just kind of funny. I thought my experience was a little bit funny just because of all the little things that happened, but it ended up working out just fine, and luckily got the results back. I am good to go. I do not have gestational diabetes, which is what the glucose test is testing for, if you did not know. Anyway, glucose test, not as bad as I thought. I am happy to report I do not have gestational diabetes. Gonna try and keep eating well, drinking lots of water, and getting sleep. And how was your experience with the glucose test? And if you haven't had it yet, what are you nervous about? And what are you excited for in your pregnancy? Because while there's a lot of crazy things happening, I also just feel so excited and happy to be pregnant and that I've got a little life inside me. It's crazy. It's amazing. And it's a miracle. And I thank God every day for it. So tell me what you think in the comments, and I cannot wait to see you again later.